Welcome back, everyone. Well, you probably saw my last video, or you may have seen my last video about how the VA is now allowed to deny care to certain veterans based on, political opinions, whether they're married, things like that. Guess what? Sounds like we're about to make more veterans. Sounds like we're about to make even more. Because you probably know that Israel and Iran are at war. Israel started it. They attacked Iran, and it was an unprovoked attack. Now, I'm not saying by any means that Iran is the good guys, right? Because they our country obviously wants a regime change in Iran. And quite frankly, I think the regime should be changed, but not by us. It should be changed by the Iranian people rising up and overthrowing their government and reclaiming the thriving country that they had prior to U.S. involvement, overthrowing the Shah, right, and the Ayatollahs coming in. So, yeah, we kind of screwed the pooch on that one now, didn't we? So, Donald Trump is indicating that the United States is going to get involved in this war between Israel and Iran. Tulsi Gabbard apparently told Trump that, that all the intel that we have says that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon. I mean, if you remember back when Obama was president, there was a deal made with Iran, as far as enriching uranium. They could only use it for domestic power. They could not use it for building weapons. And it appeared that Iran was abiding by that deal. Trump comes in, tears that deal up, decides, we don't want this deal anymore, which would have allowed Iran to build nuclear weapons, which apparently they still haven't done, right? So, and again, this is according to Tulsi Gabbard, and our own intelligence is telling us this, right? And Trump, of course, he's got to be the smartest guy in the room. He has to know everything about everything, doesn't he? His response is, well, yeah, but I think they are. Okay, so we have actual information saying that they're not, but you think they are. Therefore, you're going to act on what you think they are doing. That the people, if you only hire the best, why do you not trust them when they say, look, this is not happening, or we have no evidence of this happening? And you say, yeah, but even though that's not my lane, I think otherwise, No. Doesn't work that way. When I was in the Army, we had, every soldier was in a different lane. I mean, not every soldier, obviously, but every MOS was in a different lane. For those of you who don't know military terminology, MOS, military occupational specialty, which basically means your job, your specific job. I was in the communications field, right? So, but even within that field, there were, certain individuals, I was like generally, master of all trade, or jack of all trades, master of none, as it pertained to the communications field. I mean, we had some guys who were very specifically, they very specifically dealt with networking, others that very specifically dealt with laying cables or telephone communications or, whatever, right? So if I, when I was a sergeant in the Army, had soldiers under me that they had these different jobs, right? If a soldier came to me and basically said, well, this, basically gave his thoughts on, based on his knowledge of his job, that would influence me. It would influence me. I mean, if it was right, if he was correct, yeah, he would definitely. Junior soldiers can have influence over their leadership, right? And that's not a bad thing. But nobody can have influence over Donald Trump. Nobody has influence over him because he is weak. He is not strong enough to accept that he may not have all the information. He is not strong enough to accept that he doesn't know everything. He is an insecure, weak, petulant child. And quite frankly, that's being generous. Apologies to petulant children out there, by the way. He doesn't understand leadership. He doesn't understand strength. Leadership is the ability to trust your subordinates. Leadership isn't just, hey, do what I say. Leadership is setting an example. Set the example that you want to be followed. I mean, if you're, again, going back to my experience in the Army, if your uniform wasn't quite right, somebody in a leadership position who better have their own stuff squared away before they correct you is going to let you know about it. Now, if I noticed something on a soldier's uniform that wasn't quite right, I'm going to check myself first, right? Am I wrong? Am I out of whack? If I was, I'm not making that correction. If I'm in the right, if I'm all squared away, I'm making that correction. In fact, I'm still making that correction, but I'm going to square myself away first. Also, if a junior soldier would have come up to me and said, hey, Sergeant, you're, this or that isn't right, I'm going to thank that soldier for making the correction, and I'm going to make it right. All right, good job. But it appears that we are about to go to war with Iran on behalf of Israel, alongside of Israel. And it's the anti-war president who's going to do this. All because he doesn't trust the people that he appointed. He doesn't trust them. He doesn't trust anybody. Remember before his first term when he said, he was asked who he listens to as far as advice? Well, mostly I listen to myself. I've got a really big brain and I have all the best words and I'm like really smart and sure, whatever. We're about to go to war with Iran, it looks like. I hope I'm wrong. But by the way, if that does happen, hey, Congress, particularly Republicans in Congress, because you have the majority, Step up and do your damn job. Who has the authority to declare war? Under the Constitution, Congress has that authority. The President does not. I know we haven't had a declared war since World War II, and yet since that time, we've had wars in Korea, in Vietnam, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and other military actions throughout the world. So, Congress, do your damn job. Especially you Republicans, because you are in the majority. I mean, if Congress declares war on Iran, I don't like it. I really don't like it. I don't think they should. That's a terrible idea. But I can at least accept it because they did it the constitutional way. If you do it constitutionally, I don't have to like the action. Don't have to like the action. But I can accept the fact that you followed the Constitution. And if Trump does this, if he goes to war unilaterally on his own, obviously not unilaterally in the sense that we're going with Israel, but if he makes the determination on his own, without Congress, that we're going to go to war with Iran, impeach his ass immediately. Impeach, and then convict and remove him in the Senate. In fact, if that happens, I will be calling upon my own Congresswoman, Ashley Hinson, who won't listen to me, of course, but I'm going to ask her to lead the charge. And then I'm going to demand convictions from Joni Ernst and Chuck Grassley, who are my senators, which of course they won't do. But they're going to damn well know where I stand. And hopefully every other Iowan will know, will go along with me. Also, I hope every other Iowan in the 2nd District will contact Ashley Hinson. And I hope every American, coast to coast, contact your representative in the House, contact both of your senators, let them know that you do not support one man unilaterally deciding to take us into a war. Don't let this happen. Do not let this happen. I'll see you next time.